That's how he started out.
Initially, yeah.
So he did an about turn, yeah. So that's kind of how we need to go, do an about turn. And like he was persecuted all his life, wasn't he? And I know you Muslim guys, when you do an about turn, you become a Christian. That puts you in a really difficult position, and I understand that. But that was a commitment he felt was realistic. And because he had been so challenged of his own heart and how he was before God, you know the story about a blinding light and a voice coming down, and that's what I'd call a dramatic conversion. And I pray that you guys will have a dramatic conversion also. Yeah, I mean, I know that some of the Muslims are receiving dreams and visions of a man in white, and they're seeing him as Jesus, and so I know. See, Jesus wants to be to you as compelling, but if your pride and arguments gets in the way, then of course you won't take that course. You see.
I mean, I have a friend who saw Jesus in a dream, and he's Muslim basically. Like Jesus told him, I'm a prophet.
Okay.
So he chose to be Islam, like he's Muslim.
Yeah.
But in terms of forced persecution of the church, I think he still persecuted Christians even when he became a Christian, because he's very intolerant of those Christians that say you have to be circumcised. He says, "I wish." Are
you talking about the Apostle Paul, or
Yeah, Paul. Yeah.
So even when he
it said that he actually, when as soon as he became a Christian, he started arguing with people in the marketplace. Yeah.
So why did he still, if he was one who persecuted, why did he do that if he was already advocating?
Because he persecuted other Christians, because he said those who want circumcision, I wish they would mutilate themselves or castrate themselves.
He was talking about the Jewish people, wasn't he?
He called them false brothers.
Yeah, it's because
no, he's not just Jewish people, but they're Christians.
Yeah,
who also believe in Jesus.
Because the New Testament was coming in, you see, which was taking the place of the Old Testament. So you couldn't be a part of God's economy, if you like, for want of a better word, just through merely the externals of
Jesus said he came not to abolish the Old Testament. He came not to destroy it, but to fulfill it. And therefore, whoever keeps even the smallest of the commandments will be called great, but whoever teaches others to break them will be the least in the kingdom. So Paul is saying that those Christians who say that you have to follow the law, they're basically Satan's handiwork, but who pretend to be Christian. They masquerade themselves as false apostles, when in fact,
that's true. Unfortunately to say, there's a lot of counterfeit Christians, for sure. Yeah.
So and he was intolerant of
other
the
Christian faith is to examine ourselves, to see whether we are in the faith, and this is also a biblical perspective.
Is it possible, Paul, that Paul was presenting a gospel contrary to the close associates of Jesus?
No. I mean, like the Apostle Peter, he said himself that some of the things the Apostle Paul said were hard to hear, but he wasn't. He was actually, the apostles were actually giving Paul his position to explain things. So he had just basically taken the words of Jesus and I mean, there was some teaching on top of that, but you see, that was okay because it wasn't the closed canon of the scripture at that time. He was in the book of Revelation with John the Apostle, who was the last apostle to die when he wrote the book of Revelation, says right at the very end that if you add to the scripture or take away from this scripture, then you'll be subject to hell, basically. So it was an awesome thing that.
They were actually like the epistles of John. They were written after the book of Revelation. So there are some books or literature that are written after the book of. If you look at the study Bible,
it does say that if you add on to basically the book of Revelation,
it's
just don't do it.
It's basically just about the book of Revelation, but it's not about the whole Bible. The Bible does actually leave the possibility that there will be at least one more true prophet to come after Jesus.
No, I don't believe that.
Because
Why do you
Jesus,
say that?
yeah.
What do you think of his
Okay, I'm moving out.
Oh, okay.
before you? Okay. All right.
I will speak again, hopefully. So.
Mazam was. You want to explain for the audience why you feel that there was that distinct possibility that there was a prophet which was going to be foretold to come.
Yes, if there wasn't going to be another prophet after Jesus, then Jesus wouldn't have given a criteria or some form of acid test of how to judge a true prophet from a false prophet. Because if Jesus was the last prophet, then he would have just left it at that. But instead, he says, judge them by their fruits. A good tree cannot bear evil fruits, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruits. So judge them by their fruits. So meaning judge them by their teachings. So that implies that there was to be at least one more true prophet to come after Jesus. And even in John's Gospel, Jesus speaks about the Spirit of Truth, who would supplement his own teachings, but would also bring new teachings, like new revelation, because Jesus says, "I have many more things to say. Howbeit, when He, the Spirit of Truth, will come, when He comes, He will guide you into all truth." So, in other words, there was more truth to come, which Jesus Himself said the time wasn't yet correct. But when this other Spirit of Truth or Prophet will come, He will guide you into all the truth.
That's in John chapter 16, if I'm not mistaken.
Verse 12 and 13, yeah.
Verse 12 onwards. So there you have it. It's a fantastic little summary to show that the acid test of a prophet to come is given to us by Paul. But what was the need to give this definition? So definition would be that you can test, you can verify the prophet which is to come. So obviously in our understanding, this is the prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's unfortunate that he had to abruptly go. But there you have it. Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Anything else you want to add? We're looking for Christians, particularly, so we can have a discussion with our residential brotherhead and Mazam, who particularly enjoy speaking to them, as I do from time to time. So yeah, we're looking for more people now. So inshallah, you have to follow us around. We're going to be
Okay.
I'm free of you good?
Yeah, I'm good. And
Yeah, I
you?
don't go to that mad place no more.
I don't blame you.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, hopefully you do good.
Yeah, keep well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
The camera, you go 5 minutes.